Get into your comfortable seat over there. Let's put the focus on you. Bada bing, bada boom. Welcome on in, everybody. Our weekend edition of your workout series during our COVID-19 time, indoors. So this is going to be the last of our workouts of what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks, kind of sequence-wise. So enjoy a little bit of that. We're going to be keeping some Tabata going forward, and we're also going to be keeping the pull stuff, especially in the warm-ups, but we'll put it in some movements going into the following 2 weeks. So we want you to just be aware of that and have kind of the right equipment around you as you're preparing for that. Also, other equipment that you could use today that are going to complement the workout nicely, a moderate weight. So if you get yourself a good water bottle, if you fill that thing up, that can be a nice little addition to things. A single hand weight or kind of a book is a really good one as well today. You can always use body weight as an option. And then also, I've showed you a little bit in the past, kind of like a large detergent or even a can be a light option for a single weight today. Your choices through all that stuff. Beyond that, well, let's go over kind of our regular stuff. We'd like you to be barefoot. We'd like you to pay attention to what muscles we're trying to get you to cue during the movements. So pay attention to what I'm trying to say and try to feel that as we're going on. Injuries, if you got any injuries, I want you to be hyper aware of what you're doing, especially when it comes to movements that might be using those parts of the body more specifically. Sharp or bright pains are not a good thing to be having during your workout, so pay attention, and if you do feel those, feel free to change the workout completely, to move around, maybe skip a movement, to add a movement. Your choices through there, but please keep yourself safe with what you're doing based on what you're feeling. Your own music, if you've got a few tunes, this is that time. Hit the play button. We'll be talking later about hitting the pause button, but for now, we're gonna go play button on today. And then quick shout out, actually, to Sarah Marsalis, actually, an old client, who has said that we do a really good job of calling out people who aren't doing jack, like sitting on the couch and watching us and eating their bonbons, but she says people don't eat bonbons anymore. I'm not so sold on that. But anyway, she wanted us to give a shout out to all the hard workers out there. So we give you a little bit of a shout out to everybody who's out there and knocking these out. I mean, I think this is probably our 20th video that we've made so far. So good job staying up with this stuff, being in on it. We love that you're participating in it. Okay, without further ado, let's get ourselves moving into the day. We're going to start out with our regular warm-ups that we've been doing through the previous 2 weeks. So we're going to use that pole or that towel or that broom, something that you can start lifting overhead and bringing back forward. So we're going to get your feet just about shoulder width apart, and we're just going to start by both hands all the way back towards your butt and then all the way back in front towards the hips. 6 times going up and over. You can take your hands wider, and that's usually going to help you kind of get that full distance. If you can't go all the way back, no big deal. All good. Give me one more, last one here. All right, next up we go side to side. So we're gonna go over to one and we're gonna pull down with that bottom arm. We're gonna come back up to that top center and then switch it over. Got 6 total here. Not gonna spend too long going side to side, but do feel some opening and some extra stretching occurring. And final one. All right, next up we're gonna go rotations behind us. So let's find some space behind us with wherever you're at. Keeping those feet a little bit wide, you're going to extend that pole behind you. You're going to come back into center and switch. So you're going to straighten the arm as you turn behind to that side each time. Give you a little chest stretch, a little shoulder stretch. You're going to turn through those hips. I want you to find and feel the center of your body, doing some good rotation here. And then last up, to help that turn, opposite heel picks up to really open that turn, that rotation. 2 more. And last one. All right, and then we finish up doing a few circles around our heads with the shoulder work here. So 3 in one direction, and if it needs to be a little bit shorter or just a little higher up to minimize what you're doing, that's good. Once you've done those 3, reverse it around to that opposite side. Once again, if you take that wider a stance with the hands, you can oftentimes get a little deeper into the movement. We're gonna keep the pull, but we're gonna take it onto the back, put it onto the neck, and extend the elbows kind of out wide. So immediately, both Sarah and I are kind of feeling the back shoulders active into this. We've taken that very wide stance with the feet, and now we're going to sit back and down to one side, drive up through that heel, and switch it over. 6 total reps. Work a little bit of slow into this so you can Find balance here and tack on a little bit of strength with the push up. We finish up doing squats. We're going to take this straight overhead from here, bringing the feet right under the shoulders, sitting back and down through a good squat, and then coming up nice and tall. If you want to work on breathing, breathe in, down, breathe out as you stand back up. Last two, and last one. Awesome. So let's get rid of this. We're going to bring ourselves down on the floor. We've got 3 more warm-ups here. We're going to get into that kind of fetal position. Arms, we're going to reach out in front and stack those hands. We've got the knees bent and stacked as well as those feet stacked. That top arm is going to open, go straight behind you, and then clasp back together. We're kind of finding a decent rhythm of the open and close here. Inhale as you open, exhale as you close. Practice that. Inhale, exhale, final one. All right, let's go ahead and quick switch. Opposite side, same thing here. Once again, call this out, but find the middle of your back as your turn here. Rotate, open, close it, breathe out. Inhale, open, close, breathe out. Okay, last 2. Continue to find that reach at the out point so that stretch occurs. Very nice. All right, let's sit up. We're going to have the feet out in front. We're going to turn both our knees to one side, and we're going to reach behind us from there. And bring the hands back in, press through those lats, rotate through those hips, and nice extension on the out. Got 6 total here. All right, final 2. Pushing those hips down to extend that stretch. All right, and we're going to finish up in our kneeling position before we get into that little 30-second cardio burst. We're going to take the right foot a little bit forward in front of that knee. We're going to bring our left hand behind the head. We're going to lean into this, pulling the elbow back. And we're going to extend back with that right leg and reach elbow to knee. Repeat it again. Work on balance here. As you breathe in, you come forward. As you breathe out, you push back. And 2 more. Inhale forward, exhale back. Very nice. Switch it. Right knee goes down, left foot comes forward. Right hand behind the head. Breathe in, come forward. Breathe out, push back. So moderate in the stretch that you're getting through the hamstrings here. Don't be yanking on tight muscles. Kind of gently trying to loosen things up here. 2 more. Inhale forward, exhale back. Final 1. All right, so this is the 30 seconds of cardio that we start out with at the end of our warm-ups. Let's knock it out. Remember, you have a more manageable option to have your hands against a wall. It's going to be opposite knee reaching out towards opposite elbow, so kind of a cross pattern with those knees coming in. Hands are under shoulders. We get set in 3, 2, 1. Kind of find your movement first here, right? We're still in that warm-up phase. I want you to feel strength of your hands into the floor. I want you to see that you're really pulling that knee across. You're kind of finding extra depth into that crunch. And now steady breathing, finding that in and that out. 10 seconds here. You're feeling good, maybe slightly faster now. Finished up in 2, in 1, bend the knees, take a breather. Congratulations. You, myself, and Sarah, we're warm. Let's go over our regular movements right here. Circuit 1, 3 movements, 5 repetitions for the movement. If it's on one side, 5 reps on both sides. We do that for as many times as we can for 5 minutes. Once we're done with that, we're going to repeat what we just did, which is that 30-second mountain climber cross knee style. All right, so exercise number 1 today. We're going to try to throw off the balance queen over here. We're going to see how this works. So we can use a weight, or you can do this with body weight. We're going to do a squat, and then it's an opposite hand and knee lift at the top of that squat. So I'm gonna start with my weight in my right hand. I'm gonna do one good squat down. When I come up, my left knee's gonna lift, my right arm's gonna push up. I'm gonna come back down to that squat. I'm gonna hand the weight to the other side, bring up the opposite knee and hand. So I've kind of used the bottom of that squat as where I'm gonna pass that weight, distribute it over. Each time at the top, we're doing a little bit of a hold, so about a half-second hold at the top of each of those. As more manageable options, you just go to that halfway point, or you can just kind of bend that elbow and not really extend the arm fully overhead. So that's exercise 1. Exercise 2 are going to be an option of either doing dips on the couch like Sarah's doing here, or doing a standing overhead extension. As I'm here, I've got my feet kind of right under the shoulders, and I'm going to extend those arms and bring them all the way down. Trying to get as much full range of motion as I can into that stretch and extension through those arms. We'll go over those options for you. Remember, if you're on the couch, bending your knees more is a little bit more manageable. And then we saw her walk out a little bit further, and that's going to add intensity and give you more of that power option through there. That's exercise number 2. Exercise number 3 is a new one, so pay attention as well. We're going to get into a single leg squat position. So what I want you to do right off the bat is bend your knee quite a bit on one side, and then with the other leg, I want you to pull the knee in and extend it out to the side. Pull the knee in and extend it out. So you got 5 extensions on one side, trying to stay low into that squat or that athletic position. If you need as a more manageable option, you can just kind of tap the toe and lift from here. Now with all of our movements right here, you have a weight as an option, right? So Sarah grabbed that even for that single leg squat and those leg extensions. So you can keep a weight if you want to kind of have that extra oomph into what we're doing today. Hopefully that's clear. I'm going to put some time on that thing, and I want you all to get ready for that squat and that opposite knee lift with the opposite hand extension. Squat position, you got feet under shoulders. Let's begin in 2, in 1. Let's get going. There you go. So take it a little slow at the bottom if you need to remember the transfer of the weight. Okay, 10 total. We're getting 5 on each side here. And remember, give me that small hold at the top, even for a half second at the top. So your body's really reinforcing that there's balance going on. Once that's done, it goes into either the dips, or we can just grab that weight and overhead, do some tricep extensions from here. 5 total with whatever you're doing. Because that number's lower, maybe walking those feet out like Sarah did is that better option for you, so you're getting a lot more challenge into that 5 reps. Once that's done, we go back to that low squat. So we're going to sit into that squat position. We're going to bring the knee up in and then extend out, pushing kind of the bottom of the foot towards the outside part of the floor there. You go 5 on 1, then you switch it. Remember, the lower you can stay into that, the more challenge you're going to get out of what's going on. You can also add that additional weight. Once she's done with that, she goes back to the top. It's the squat and that opposite knee lift with the opposite hand extending and reaching overhead. Once again, I'm going to cue her to go slow at the bottom so the distribution of weight can happen. Or she might just go, you could go 5 on one side and then you could go 5 to the other as well. You can kind of be creative with what you're doing, just as long as we're getting to the reps that we're supposed to. All right. Once again, she's controlling the top. This is absolutely key. I don't want you flying through this movement because I want you to force balance at the top. There we go. She got good extension, then she goes back to the dips. She's gonna make those dips as challenging as she can. Oh, she's gonna move on to the weight from here. So cool. Here's her option. She does a nice split stance into this, which I like even a little bit better because it makes that leg in front just kind of take over, kind of force a little bit extra balance into things. Cool, she wraps that up and then she's to the floor in that low squat and extending out smoothly, pulling the knee in and extending. Good. Now this was a challenging movement for her and I to get in sync on, just to be FYI and kind of clear on. So if you're struggling with it at home, no big deal. We did a number of outtakes at home.
We went to battle.
We went to battle. Sometimes we go to battle on these exercises. Sometimes she wins, sometimes I win. This is I win. type of movement.
Well, it's much better if you hold a weight.
There you go. Hear it from the horse's mouth yourself. You hold that weight, you can really add that intensity and try to get the most out of what we're doing. So speaking of getting the most, you've got 2 minutes left on this set. We're more than halfway through it. If you're feeling good and comfortable with your movements, I want you picking up intensity. If you know the movements quickly, try to switch quickly from one movement to the next. If you can minimize rest time, you can start to challenge that heart rate more and get that overall workout level up. Awesome. She's got that smooth bottom point so the weight can be moved over side to side. Very key through that. Make things smooth. Make things smooth. Her dips, she's all the way out. Good. She's going to press her hips high at the top, and that's going to wake up more glutes, more core. Once again, more parts of the body working. We're maximizing what we're doing. She comes back up. She grabs that weight, and she wants that squat to be more challenging. Low as she starts. And now she can work on the extension while trying to keep the low point. So remember, the lower you go onto this, the more challenging it is. Try to keep yourself low, and you're going to get intensity levels going north. 1 minute remaining. Good. I can see Sarah's knee moving a little bit over there, and I've cued her, and just like I do you all, don't let the knee cave in. It's okay if it's struggling a little bit, but think about it needs to stay in its placement there. When the knee caves in, we're going to deal with issues. If we can keep it out, we can keep safety there through engaging the outside hip. Good. Great extension. Breathing in, going down, breathing out, standing up. Always down, inhale down, always exhale up with our leg work. Okay, we've got 20 seconds, so give me at least one more exercise, rep through some 5 or 5 on each, finish it up, and then we're going to be down on the floor doing those cross mountain climbers for an additional 30. You got 10 seconds remaining. Okay, last few in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we've got about 20 seconds. Remember, cross mountain climber option is hands against the wall from a standing position. The more you walk your feet back, the more challenging that can be. So you can even find some good challenges by angling back with those feet a little extra. Hands under shoulders. We get going in 3, 2, 1. Lift on up and cross that knee. Think about stability in your shoulders and stability in your plank right here. You're a force. Lock it in. That form smooth. You got 10 seconds remaining, folks. If you want to pick up pace, you're welcome to it. Finished up in 3, 2, and rest. Circuit number 1 in the bag. Circuit number 2 is going to bring us down to the floor. Let's go over it. You get some water, and we'll give you some cues as to what's coming up next here. So our first movement on the floor, we're going to be using that weight again. Moderate weight. We're going to get into your kneeling stance, which you see me do all the time as I'm just resting over here. This is not a resting position, contrary to popular belief. Think about this. As we're in this kneeling stance, your shoulders and your hips are in alignment pointing forward, right? So if I have my ankle right under my knee and my knee right in front of my hip, and my shoulders squared up in the same position, this is ideal alignment. I want you all to try to practice that and find and feel that with each of these. From here, the weight is on the side with the leg in front. Weight is on the side with the leg in front. You're going to slowly lower down. You're going to keep that weight stacked on top of the shoulder until you get to a flat palm, and then you're going to lift up slowly, and you're going to come back to that forward position. Okay, slow coming down. Eyes stay on the weight. Bring it up and rotate back to the front. Smooth coming down, slow coming up. This is not a rip it type of movement. Now if you needed to go onto the finger through there, or if you needed to even kind of put your weight down and use that as like a guide through there, you can do those as more moderate options. So you got 5 reps on that, then we're gonna go flat onto our back and do some windshield wiper legs. So hands kind of at your sides or out a little bit wide if you want. Legs are up, L-shaped position. We're going to go over to one side, and then we're going to bring it right back up to the top. And then we'll switch over to the opposite side. So you'll do 10 of these total, 5 reps on each side. First 1 or 2, let's not go too far out. So allow yourself to warm up into that a little bit. And of course, if you need a more moderate option, bend your knees. And same thing, minimize how far out you're going. Where can you control that movement, but still get some good challenge out of it as well? We finish up turning back to the floor. We're gonna go plank position. This is a sawing plank, which means I'm just gonna have you doing a little forward and back, but we're gonna maintain 1 foot off the floor as we do 5 sawing planks. Going forward and back is 1 repetition. Then we'll switch over to that opposite side. As more manageable options for this, you can do your regular side plank with both feet on the floor. Once again, it's forward and back, so you're just going kind of a few inches forward, a few inches back, and you can rest between those if you need. So for those of you doing the more manageable option on that, you could do 5 reps, or if you feel good with it, you could do 10 reps. Kind of your choice to go through that with both of those feet on the floor. I hope that's clear. Once we're done with that, we've got that 30 seconds of skaters to wrap up circuit number 2. How's that sound? Rock on. Hope you guys get it. If not, I'll be calling it out, so pay attention. We're gonna start in that kneeling position. I'm gonna put the clock on. Reset. We got 10 seconds to go from here. So let's start with that weight in our right hand and our right foot in front. We start in 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna go slow down. Eyes stay on the weight. And slow coming back up, squaring up at the top of the movement. Trying to get to a flat palm at the bottom, keeping the weight right on top of the shoulder, coming back up and turning forward at the top. If you needed a more manageable option, you could tap to just the finger point, tap hitting the floor, and then slowly bring it back up. Good. So slow is your friend on this one. And so is depth, right? If you can get to that flat palm position, we're getting a bigger range of motion to what we're doing. Always square yourself up. We just talked about this in the beginning, gave you a little expose on it. We want alignment of the knee in front of the hip, the knee on top of the ankle, and the shoulders all pointing in that same direction and well stacked up when you come to the top of that movement. She goes windshield wiper legs next. Sarah likes to really hit the depth on these, but if you need to warm up into it, maybe just kind of don't go so far in your first 1 or 2 there. Now, this movement, like all of our good movements, it has a nice stretch element as well as a good contraction element. So as she goes to one side, the opposite side of her abs, her rotators stretch, and now they contract to lift the legs back up. So this side's now stretching, and then it contracts to pull back up through there. Try not to get too tense into the neck. You do want to ground through your hands so that the body stays where it's supposed to be. And if you need that manageable option, keep the knees bent and don't go too far side to side. Once you're done with that, you turn to the floor, you go single leg sawing plank. So one leg stays up, and by doing that, we're going to get glute activation through that leg. Forward and back is 1 rep, so you go 5 reps on one side before you switch it over. Your more manageable option is keeping both feet on the floor and giving me either 5 reps, or if you want the extra challenge still, go to 10 reps of those slow forward back sawing planks. Where you should feel this is kind of the top of the abs and definitely the front of the abs. Kneeling position takes us back to the top. Let's make it smooth. Eyes stay on the weight, and the weight stays stacked right on top of that shoulder. Good. Notice at the top, do we have alignment? Are the shoulders pointing forward? Are the eyes looking forward now? And are the hips aligned with the knees and the ankles? Find those pieces and you are succeeding with what you're doing. Give me those 5 and then switch it over. Control it, folks. Control it. Perfect. Sarah does an incredible job of showing you how to do this well. It is a stacked weight on top of the shoulder, the eyes watching it. We've got a little under 2 minutes. A little under 2 minutes from here. Let's keep it working. Let's keep it moving. Windshield wiper legs after this, and then once those windshield wiper legs are done, it's that single leg sawing plank. So windshield wipers and single leg sawing plank round out your 3 on circuit 2 here. Awesome. Once again, Sarah does things slowly. I love it. I think when we first met, she would always tell me that she only wanted to do things rapidly, and slow was a waste of time. You know, I hope that I'm changing her mind a little bit, and I hope that I'm changing your minds out there if that was a mentality you have as well. You will get more out of slowing things down through this. When she slows it down, now she forces her body to not only be in control, but to have to be on, right? Muscles are working a lot harder to have to control and be on than if you're using momentum to just swing something randomly side to side quickly. Single leg plank and sawing, going forward and back, 1 repetition. Awesome, switch it over. Remember at that bottom, or as that more manageable approach here, you could also bend your knees and take a break and then do a few more, right? Feel free to always take a rest if you need it. We've got ourselves about 30 seconds left on this. If you can work to that finish point, awesome, I want you doing that. And then we've got those 30 seconds of skaters that will wrap up, so save a little in the tank. And the breathing on this, you breathe in going down, you breathe out coming up. Tell me if you've heard that one before, I bet you have. You got 10 seconds remaining. Finish out those good 5 reps of wherever you're at. Once again, we've got that 20 in between before skaters hit. 2, 1, boom. She's gonna knock out 1 or 2 extras there, and she's doing it with that form. She's not hustling and hurrying it yet. Love it. We got ourselves about 10 seconds before skaters kick in. Once again, we want that lateral work, that space to move side to side. Let's get going in 3, in 2, in 1. Opposite foot goes behind us. We keep that forward knee bent quite a bit. And we're gonna keep that weight in the forward heel. Forward heel, we wanna be feeling that body's weight. More manageable option, you are stepping here side to side and still feeling that outside hip working as you do. Got 10 seconds. If you wanna add any intensity, do it now. Finished up in 3, 2, and 1. That is breather, that is break time, that is halfway through this thing. Nicely done, folks. Let me give it like a dribble, high five, pass. Ooh, been working on my moves in quarantine over here. Spending my time wisely. Not like I sit around on the couch and watch the NFL draft all weekend.
Oh. No, not you.
Wouldn't dream of it. All right, well, Tabata. 3 times with our Tabata. 8 movements total, but once again, 3 of these movements we're doing on each side, right? So we've got 5 total movements, and it's gonna get us to 8 reps to complete, or 8 exercises to complete that Tabata cycle. We'll do that 3 times, and then you're free to go after we do stretching. Don't ever check out early before we're done with our workouts. Sound good? Tabata, let's go over what we're doing here. First up, a weight can be useful. We're gonna get into using something behind us as a leverage point. So maybe that's a chair, we've got the couch, it's that Bulgarian split squat. Whatever leg is in front, that's the hand holding the weight. She's gonna sit back and down and press up and extend, okay? Phenomenal. So once again, heel in front is where we're using, where we're finding, working through there. She'll do 5 on 1, or she'll do 20 seconds on and then 10 seconds of rest, and then we'll go to the opposite side from there. More manageable approach, we can be here. You can stand up, you can give me just that same thing, holding the weight in the forward leg side, and just practice from a split lunge position. Exercise number 2, we're gonna bring it down to the floor. We're gonna stay on the floor from here. Fire hydrants. Sarah's gonna show you if you wanted to use a weight, that you can kind of slide it right in between the back of the knee here. But I want you quadruped position. You got hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and a little space between those knees, please. Once you're here, you're gonna lift that leg straight out to the side, slowly come back down. I always preach slowly. It's always gonna change the dynamics of what you're doing. You go 5 on one, or you go 20 seconds on one side, 10 seconds of rest, and then we go 20 seconds on the opposite side. Okay, from here, we're gonna turn you around, and this is where we're gonna use either that book, or what do we say? Like the water bottle could be used on this as well. Pillow would be a great one, yeah, absolutely. All right, so this is gonna be the passing, and we're gonna start with that weight on the shins, or that book, or that pillow. You're gonna reach out, extend the legs, extend the arms, Bring it in and change hands to shins. So getting that interchange from here. Now if you need a more manageable option, you might just do like a smaller extension out and in, and you might focus a little bit more about keeping your low back pressing down as those more manageable approaches. Next movement, we're going to keep you on your back, and we're going to do a 20-second hold, holding a hollow hold. So we did a little bit of this, let's say last week when we were using the broom, but we're going to get you to this position where you got your legs up and your hands up, and you're actively going to push that low back down. Your head is lifted and your eyes are looking towards the ceiling. So actively pressing your low back down and feeling those core muscles working overtime to keep your body where it needs to be. If you need to be more manageable or safer with that, just bring the hands and the legs higher up into the air, and you can have a much more controlled, gentler movement from there. So that is 4 of 5. Our final movement is going to be a plank that we're rotating to one side only. So we're all going to start in a regular plank position. I do want you to have some space between your feet so that you can move the heels side to side. We're going to open to one side, dropping the heels to the floor, reassessing that the hips stay up, and then come back down to center and repeat. Same side, open, drop the heels, and come back to full regular plank at the bottom. More manageable approach, you're on your knees, but when you're on your knees, we're going to keep those hips forward. You can open that outside leg as you turn, and then come back down facing the floor. So you can keep that knee down on the inside, and you're going to lift that knee as you rotate open on the opposite side. Sound good? Cool. Let's get through some Tabata. Sounds like we got like some Cool in the Gang going on. I always like to listen to that. Cool. Tootsie Roll. Love this song. All right. Let's get into a split lunge stance, and whether that's with a foot on an elevated surface or whether that's with that back foot just on the floor in general, either of those are going to work. We've got 10 seconds, so grab that weight, have it in the hand, or body weight works too. Beginning in 3, 2, and 1. So first off, she's got the weight in the forward leg side, right? She's got alignment here too. I can see that the knee is stacked over the ankle is stacked under the hip. So once again, that's coming up multiple times through here. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. You got 10 seconds. We're switching our sides. Once again, you could be here and that weight in the forward leg side. In 3, 2, 1. Sit back and down and press up through that heel. Good. You can tighten your belly. Of course, this is going to help that balance out as well as recruit more muscles into the movement. So always a pro. Let's go 3, 2, 1. We're going to stay down on the floor next. Fire hydrant position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Begin in 3, 2, 1. We go straight out to the side and we go slow, coming back down. Feel the outside of the hip as your main mover here. Where are you getting the power? And is your control there in the core coming down? In 3, 2, 1. Switching your sides next. Setting up in 3, 2, 1. Repeat the smooth down. A good lift, feeling that outside hip as your strength and contraction. Slow, fighting gravity, coming down. In 3, 2, 1. Next up, we grab our book, our pillow. We go onto the back. We're going to stack it onto the shins, arms overhead, passing in 2, in 1, extend out, then bring it in, and control the switch. Those of you who need that more manageable option, you can keep those feet a lot higher as they extend out. You can make sure that your arms are not reaching too far overhead. In 3, 2, and 1. We're going to stay on our back. We've got our hollow hold next. So hands and legs are going to stay up in the air at this point, and it's going to be a low back press. In 2, in 1, lift up and hold. Good. Hold it and brace. If you can squeeze those core muscles, your heart rate's gonna go up. Your activity level is getting a lot more challenging. Breathe. Eyes stay up, but you're not too tense here. 3, 2, 1. Good. Turn around, face the floor, plank position. We're gonna have our feet a little wider, and Sarah's gonna add some weight to make it more challenging. In 2, 1. Feet wide, twist the heels to the floor. Come back all the way facing the floor. Give me plank position at the bottom each time. Perfect bottom plank to finish. Bingo. And she's gonna make sure that that weight stays on top of the shoulder to keep her safe at the top. In 2, in 1, we switch your sides, then we take a break. So get ready for it. Wide stance with the feet. In 3, 2, 1. Rotate, heels down, and hips high. Heels down, hips high. Those are your cues to succeed with this. There we go. There we go. We got last few coming up. In 3, 2, and 1. That's good. It is breather. It is break time. It is round 1 of 3 of those Tabatas. Hopefully that was a good learning round for you. You got the sequence down. You understand how the movements work. We're going to try to ramp it up in rounds 2 and 3. So get yourself some water. Treat yourself to some water. High five somebody random if they're around you. Oh yeah. Solid. Okay, remember with good high fives, if you follow the elbow, visualize the elbow, you're going to find some really nice follow through on that high five. It's a good life lesson for y'all. All right. We're going to get to it. We're going to get split stance. Grab that weight. We've got less than 10 seconds before we get moving. Don't waste time on me here. Knees lined up in front of hips and ankles. In 2, 1. Sit into it, and everything extends back up. Extend that leg and extend that arm. Good. Come up. Breathe up. Breathe in as you go down. Breathe out as you come back up. In 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds off. Switching your sides next. Once again, tight bellies are going to help you out here. In 3, 2, 1. Sit into it. Use that heel in front. Give yourself power through that forward leg, utilizing that heel. Come up, breathe out. Stand up, breathe out. Good. Ab check. Finished up. In 3, 2, 1. We bring it to the floor. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Fire hydrant position. Beginning in 3, 2, 1. Smooth on the up, smooth on the down. That top point, we're thinking contraction into that high glute, into that side hip. Good, bringing it down. Your abs are controlled, and your abductors slowing it down. In 3, 2, 1. Let's switch it over, opposite side. Yeah, find stability in the hands and the shoulders. In 3, 2, 1. Smooth on the up, smooth on the down. There you go. So Sarah's doing a great job of staying pretty damn still between the hands and the knee that stays on the floor. Work on this. Stillness is control through here. 3, 2, 1. We're going to turn it around. We're going to do our passing next. We've got hands to shins. Maybe pillow, maybe book, maybe body weight. In 3, 2, 1. Let's get to it. Sarah does an awesome job of full extensions here. Does a fantastic job of that. And when she comes together, the low back gives it a little push down. Getting that extra activity. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and put the book down. Hollow hold is next. Hands and feet stay up in the air, and we just hold ourselves in this position. In 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. Low back is pushing big time. Find that, feel that, be that. Push that low back down here, folks. If you need to lighten it up, hands go higher or feet go higher. If you're losing it, bring things a little higher up. Last few. Finished it in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's turn towards the floor. You got plank position. You're going to open into that side plank on one side only. In 3, 2, 1. Sarah's giving you the visual of that weighted option. If She's gonna make sure at the top that weight is not moving too far back. It's right on top of that shoulder, so she's got stability and security with that hold at the top. Those heels, they tap to the floor each time as she turns. 3, 2, 1. We switch it up. Then we take a breather. Give me a good 20 right here, folks. Good 20 coming up. Feet a little wide. Heels turn in 2 and 1. Rotate. Smooth coming down. There we go. There we go. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Stability and strength into your postures here. 3, 2, 1. Nicely done, folks. Nicely done. 2 out of 3. 1 Tabata to go.
I'm sweating.
Good. Good. It's a warm day today. I don't know about you all elsewhere. I'm sure it's kind of warm everywhere today.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful day in Santa Cruz.
80.
Yeah, please don't come here though. Yeah. No traveling during quarantine.
Yeah, they're writing tickets.
Actually, yeah, we hear that a lot of tickets were going out, and those of you that aren't from here, when you don't got your residency here, your ticket is higher if you come here and you get busted. So don't be pulling that stuff. You stay home, you do your workouts with us. Everybody's happy. All right, let's get to this final round right here. Tabata, one more time. Don't worry, Tabata won't go away in the coming few weeks. In fact, a hint might be that it's going to expand. Split lunge, Bulgarian split squat coming up. 1 foot behind you. Let me hit that start button. There we go. We got 10 seconds from here. We got the weight in that forward leg side. We're going to put depth into it. You're going to power up in 3, 2, 1. Sit into it and power. Now, as you come up in your final round, I want you to give me a little burst coming up. I want you to push the tempo and give me that power option if you feel good. If you don't, I want you slowing it down, or I want you just here with that foot behind you instead of that elevated surface. 3, 2, 1. That's good. We switch. Reset. In 3, 2, 1. Same thing. Option of power is start to drive it up with some rapid ascension. Strength and power now in our final round to get the heart rate joining. Come up, breathe out. Come up, breathe out. Find that, feel that, be that. Finish in 3, 2, 1. We're going to the floor next. We go fire hydrants. Shout out to our firemen out there. Keeping us safe. 3, 2, 1. Lift out and control it down. Now, Sarah is an avid dog person, and she wanted to share with me. She said, do you know why they're called fire hydrants? I said, I think I do. I think it's because they mimic a dog on a fire hydrant. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. Let's switch it up. Next side coming up. So we're dog fans around here. Any of you have dogs, we'll hang out with them. 2, 1. Slow on the up, slow on the down. Awesome. So find that slow return back down. Fight the gravity to make it challenging. In 3, 2, and 1. Let's flip it around onto our backs. We got that book or that weight passing. Maybe you just got body weight working here too. All good. In 3, 2, 1. Full extension if you got it in you. More manageable option is smaller extension. Maybe even feet higher in extension as more manageable approaches. Last few. In 3, 2, 1. The book goes down. We keep the position. We do hollow hold next. Hands up, feet up is where we're going to be. And we're going to hold it. In 3, 2, 1. Lift up. And now push that low back down. The harder you fill that low back into the floor, I guarantee you're going to be feeling the difference. Breathe into it.
This is the hardest one.
Finding God right here in 3, 2, and 1. What did God tell you? What'd she say? All right, turn it around. Plank position. We got rotations. Heels to the floor in 3, 2, 1. Sarah's got that weight. The Heels tap the floor and the hips stay high. Heels tap the floor and the hips stay high. Last little bit, folks. There we go, last few. In 3, 2, 1. You got 10 seconds. There we go, final move. Last little bit coming up. Feet are wide. In 3, 2, and 1. Safety with the hands stacked on top of the shoulder. Even if you don't have that weight, look at that hand and see that it's stacked on top of the shoulder. Let's get perfect form into what we're doing, weighted or not. Woo! Last few, you're wrapped in 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done, ladies and gents. I'm gonna take 5 here. I'm gonna take all sorts of virtual high fives out that way. Ugh! Woo! Nicely done, folks. Well, we hope that you're getting some time on your weekends to be active outdoors. It is beautiful. We highly recommend that sort of thing. But we also really love that you all have been participating with us and kicking butt indoors as well. Okay, let's kind of cool it down. Let's get into a little bit of stretching. We might even do a little bit of chit-chatting while we're down here. We're going to start with our regular stretch, which is going to have the arms extended kind of all the way overhead. We're going to get into our belly breathing from here. All right. So if you can reach the hands a little extra, you can usually get a little extra stretch. If you can expand the breath in a little extra, you can actually get a little extra oxygen. If you can breathe out a little extra, you can squeeze your abs just a little bit more. So find those little bits that we can add to this. One more inhale with the belly rising. One more good exhale, pushing the air out. All right, from here, figure 4 position. So left knee comes up and our right foot goes on top of that knee. My left hand's gonna go behind my left leg. My right hand's gonna do a little push of the right knee away from the body. You're gonna try to make sure that on the right toes, they're pointed up. I want you all to start feeling and thinking about releasing our tension areas, which are our hips, but also up top, our neck and our jaw, right? So loosen up the jaw, find the belly breath in, long exhale out. That left leg is gonna go flat. We're gonna hug in the right knee. We're gonna let that left hand take over a little bit from here. It's gonna pull the knee over to the left side. So we breathe out. You're gonna look over to that right side, extend that right hand. You can pat your partner, especially if they're sweaty. Remember with this that we're trying to keep the right shoulder to the floor, right? So we don't want it to lift up. Keep that right shoulder down on the floor, and then wherever that knee allows you to go on the right from there. Nice big inhale in. You're gonna bring the knee up. You're going to exhale and bring that foot flat to the floor, keeping the knee bent. We'll lift that left foot and place it on the right knee. Right hand behind the right leg. Left hand pushing the left knee away from the body. So same thing. Our belly breath slows things down, reoxygenates us, starts the healing and the recovery process. Toes staying up, pointed up. Well, that keeps our knee safe here. Nice big inhale in. Long exhale, your right leg is going to go flat. You're going to hug in, left knee to left shoulder. Right hand's going to take over from here, big inhale in. And as you exhale, pulling the knee across. Your left arm now extends out, and it's your left shoulder that we're going to try to keep to the floor. Yeah. So where can that shoulder stay down? With that left knee going a little lower to the floor. Play with that. How can your stretch open here? Nice big inhale, belly breath in. Long exhale out. We're going to bring that knee back up. We're going to lower down. Sarah's going to stay on her back here for her butterfly stretch. I'm going to sit up and I'm going to bring the bottoms of my feet together for my butterfly stretch. And wherever we're at, we're still going to kick into that belly breath. And I also want to continue that reminder of let's stay loose in our tension areas. It's not just our hips, but our neck. Let's see if we can stay soft into the neck. And our jaw. See if our jaw can be a little lighter, a little looser, a little more relaxed. Well, today we wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about small pauses. So we'll put a little bit of a small pause into our stretch session here. We'll talk about how small pauses in life can be really successful tools and strategies to improving what's going on with you, how you might be dealing with things, and to also stack wins and be more successful throughout your day overall. Nice big inhale in, long exhale out. We're going to extend the left leg out from a seated position. If you're not in the seated position, join us. Left leg out, right foot into the left thigh. Left hand's going to go behind us, and our right hand's going to reach towards those left toes. So, taking small pauses, because I think it's pretty commonplace for us to get locked into doing a specific thing, whether that's working, whether that's in the middle of a workout, whether that's reading a book, watching television, you name it. But I think a lot of times we miss opportunities to improve our lives through small pauses. Big inhale in. As you exhale, you gently come back up. We'll switch it over. The right leg will go out. Left foot comes in. Right hand out. Left hand towards the toes. So what am I talking about here? Well, I'm talking about, let's talk about eating first off, because we love to talk about eating and how that's hugely important into your health, especially when done correctly. So if you think about eating, a lot of times people get really ravenous and they're going to overeat. And taking a small pause to not only chew your food more, but also to think about enjoying your food. Like, what are you eating? You've been so hungry. Shouldn't you taste the flavors and allow your body to feel the excitement and kind of the joy of various flavors and substances in the mouth? Nice big inhale in. Long exhale out, bringing ourselves up. We'll go kneeling position next. So let's have the left knee down. Go right foot in front. Bring that left arm up. You're going to bring it back a little bit. You're going to squeeze your butt on that left side. Also, like if we're talking about work, a lot of us are working from home these days, working on computers a lot. I find myself working on a computer more than probably ever before.
You're just looking at the draft.
Don't sell me out like that. She's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. Not ashamed to admit it. Nice big inhale in. And a nice long exhale out. We're going to go pigeon pose next, so let's bring that leg across, that foot across. We're trying to actively stretch the right side of our hip here, the outside of it, so I want you to try to push that down towards the floor. Get into that meaty glute, that top of the crest of the hip, and kind of rest through here. Well, now that Sarah's done selling me out, or maybe she's not, we'll have to see what happens. Taking pauses within the work environment is really key, because if we're all locked into a single pose, well, taking that pause might help you think about how your pose isn't actually good form or good posture. So maybe you would think a little bit about, bringing the awareness. Is your spine like really rounded? Because we want you to be a little bit more upright in your posture. Or are you breathing? Have you thought about breathing? Have you brought in a good breath and reoxygenated the body? Speaking of which, give me a nice inhale in. And a nice long exhale out. We'll go onto the hands. We'll bring ourselves up. And we'll switch to that right knee down. That left foot in front. We'll bring that right hand up into the air. Squeeze your booty on that right side. And breathe. Nice big, slow inhales and exhales here. You can also think about just taking a stand. Like there's a lot of proponents for every 20 minutes, try to stand up for 20 seconds, or every 30 minutes, try to stand up for 30 seconds. Do some light stretches. Ways to keep the body from not just tightening and hunching consistently, but to open us back up. You can think about breathing as doing exactly that too. We open kind of airways that are usually just kind of staying in place because we're breathing shallowly. We're not breathing kind of to our capacity or our capability. Let's breathe in. As we exhale, hands come down. We're going to bring that left foot over. We're going to work on stretching the outside, that left hip. We're going to work you down into that comfortable position, whether that's on hands or elbows is your choice through here. And kind of just taking that pause, I feel like, with the intention of thinking a little bit more wholly about what's going on around us and within us. Small pauses to be thankful for where you're at. I look out in the garden in springtime right now, and it's just an absolute blessing to have bees around and flowers popping, and just the thought of thinking about that brings me kind of to a nice calm, into a rested state, into a grateful state. Nice big inhale in. Nice long exhale out. We'll go ahead and bring ourselves up. And we're just going to finish with a kneeling position today. So I'm going to keep us on the knees, and I'm going to have us sit onto those heels. We're going to finish out with a little neck stretch today. So your left hand, I'm going to bring behind your back. Your right hand, I'm going to have you pull your head not straight to the side, but a little bit to the side and a little bit forward. So this should start to feel like it's getting a little bit more the back of the neck, which tends to be the tightest area I run into with people here. And if you're thinking about, taking small pauses in life to create better situations, if you're stressed out or a situation is really volatile in the moment, take a breath and take a moment to assess your best actions and reactions to what's going on. I think so often we're a very reactive society, and if we take the time to kind of consider the bigger picture, things aren't as big as we make them out to be. Time passes and things change. Inhale in. Nice long exhale out. Let's go ahead and switch our arms behind us. Right arm behind. We're going to take that left hand and pull the head a little to the left side and a little bit forward for the back of the neck stretch. So I encourage you all to be thoughtful about taking small pauses in your day-to-day life, to find the beauty into life, to stack small pauses as positive wins, and to have that be your day, attaining so much more than maybe it would have been without those thoughts. Nice big inhale in, nice long exhale out. I want you to shake out your shoulders. Folks, we will be back on Monday with workouts. On Monday, we're going to be going through some new stuff, so pay attention. It is going to have some Tabata, and it is going to be using all that broom. We want to thank you for joining us. We're getting through this thing together. If any of you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let us know. We love you joining in, and we'll see you very soon. Bye.